That is another LA Kings win, 3 in the last 4, last 2 games in a row, but that doesn't really count because we got a new coach in between the last game and this game. Yeah, there's a lot been going on in LA Kings land. So word on the street is that even though the Kings did win the game 2 days ago, that was never going to be enough to keep Stevens on the payroll. They actually were going to fire him on November 1st after that game. But our new coach, Willie Desjardins, never going to be able to pronounce that until someone tells me how to. He was not available to come for Saturday's game. So despite winning on Saturday, which we were all very excited about, Stevens was still out the door. And controversially, I'm going to say it was necessary. I think last season we got off to a phenomenal start. We won like 14 games in a row or something ridiculous like that. And I think that was all because it wasn't Daryl Sutter. It could have been anyone behind that bench. And because the oppression that they had felt under Sutter in those last couple of seasons was not there, anyone was going to be able to do good things with the Kings. And then, we kind of petered off towards the end there. They did not live up to their full potential. Hello, we got swept by Vegas. Like, that's not cool. And just there are a lot of things that the Kings could have done better last season. And while I don't necessarily think it's fair to fire the dude 13 games into the season, something needed to change. And the leaders on the team were not really stepping up. So out he goes. And that it makes sense to me because you can't fire a whole team and something needed to change. So Stevens was the obvious choice. Joe Quenneville in Chicago also got fired in between these 2 games. And I don't quite understand that one as much because their issues stem from a GM who doesn't know what he's doing and has managed the salary cap on their team terribly. And if you have a guy who's won 3 Stanley Cups and is, I believe, the second winningest coach in NHL history behind your bench, if he can't do things with the players that you have somehow managed to screw him over with, then I don't think anyone can. So can we get Coach Q at the end of this year? I don't know. I think that would be an interesting thing to think about. We will have Willie Desjardins for the remainder of this season, but he is technically an interim coach and may or may not have his contract up at the end of the year, depending on how things go. If you base it on this game, things are going really well. Bear in mind, this is the game after every player in that locker room knows that they just got their coach fired. It is also a game against the Ducks, who are not very good right now. So, all things considered, let's take it one step at a time, but a lot of good things happening. In the first 6 minutes of the game, there were no shots on goal. Not a single one. And I'm only going to say that's a good thing because it meant that the Ducks weren't shooting either. And traditionally, the Kings have not fared very well in the regular season against the Ducks, no matter how well the Ducks are doing or not. They're bigger, they are heavier, and they just kind of beat the snot out of us every game. So the fact that they didn't have any shots on goal, I'm going to take as a positive. There were a lot of neutral zone battles that the Kings were winning, but they were boxing out pretty efficiently for the most part. The Ducks players, our big break came when we got a power play. And I'm sitting there kind of joking, is it too much to think that maybe the new coach will be able to fix the power play in one practice? And then Dustin Brown scored on the power play. Yeah, I don't think that's hugely coaching. I think that's Dustin Brown has been back for 4 games and has 5 points because he sits himself in front of the net. And any coach worth anything is going to tell him to keep doing that. So Dustin Brown does his net front presence thing where he absolutely does not quit and just stands there ready with his stick to shove that puck over the line, and it's 1-0. This is the second game in a row where the Kings have scored first, and I could not tell you the last time that happened this season. I believe it's happened twice before that, possibly 3 times, but still. So first goal, first period, against a bitter rivalry, Anaheim. So positive things going on in the first period. Not only that, but I am noticing a lot of players I had not noticed pretty much all season. I'm seeing Nate Thompson do some fantastic things tonight. A lot of little things. Everybody seemed to be stepping up in a way that they had not before. And I hope that continues. I really, really do. Campbell was incredibly solid in net. Pretty much after Dustin Brown's goal, we had a penalty on Phaneuf, who may have been my one exception to the everyone seemed to be stepping up. He had a rough game. He got hit and bruised and beaten into the boards quite a few times. He took a couple of penalties maybe he shouldn't have, and that particular penalty was 92 seconds before the Kings could clear the puck. 92 seconds. Not helped by the fact that Thompson didn't have a stick, but he was the one that managed to finally clear the puck with his hands. Like, dude did not give up. No stick, no problem, not for Thompson. So he and Campbell were the absolute stars of that penalty kill. Phenomenal job to keep the Ducks out of there. And then down the other hand, Pearson, who has been in some trade rumors recently, and he's got something, I don't know. He's got 1 point this season. He has 1 assist and just cannot seem to make things happen. He's got some kind of duck on his back. I don't know. But his shot injures Gibson in his shoulder. He's very slow to get up. Looks a little painful. Trainer has to come out and make sure that he's okay. And that is not why Kyle Clifford gets the next goal. He gets this goal because Martinez and Lewis, 2 of the veteran players of this team, managed to make plays happen, and he is down the front exactly where nobody expected him to be, because none of the Ducks seem to be anywhere around him. And he does some stick handling that I haven't even seen from the likes of Anze Kopitar this season. I mean, that is gorgeous stick handling here. Just wow. Wow. So kudos to Kyle Clifford. And for anyone who is saying that the Kings are getting older and then that their core has just is past their prime, that's the example I want to show you. Clifford, Martinez, and Lewis. I'm very protective of my team at this particular time. So like I was saying, there are a lot of players that are doing things you wouldn't normally expect them to excel in. And everyone is just stepping up all over the place, all in different places across the board. And yeah, the Ducks aren't that great, but there are a lot of positive things to take away from that. So it's 2-0 at the end of the first period. Of course, they have to kill another penalty immediately after Clifford scores, because it just wouldn't be an LA Kings game if they didn't follow a goal with a dumbass penalty. Yeah, good times. If that's a habit, I would love to break them up. So anyway, we make it to the end of the first period, 2-0. And yeah, the Kings are winning, guys. Campbell's looking really good. We come out for the third period and we get another goal and it's 3-0. And oh my God, what is happening? And this goal is amazing. Sadly, the video replay missed the best part of the goal, which was Campbell being sassy and doing something that Quick, I've noticed, tried to do a couple of times before he was injured, where he plays the puck and gets it all the way to the other blue line in the neutral zone where someone is waiting, and no King has ever seemed to be able to pick that up from Quick, because I guess they don't expect him to do it, and they're like, oh, the Quick paid the puck and it's over. But Tyler Toffoli was ready. He was ready at our blue offensive line right there. Takes the puck over. Kovalchuk is there, ready to pick it up, and bam! 3-0 LA Kings. What is happening? Oh my gosh. Amazing, amazing things are happening. Wow. So 3-0. Very excited. Can't last, unfortunately. Campbell, who has been incredibly solid all the way up until this point, does a really stupid thing where he tries to go out and kind of stick handle it. And instead of doing that, he kind of fumbles and doesn't really get it to the King he wants. And he's back in net in time to make the save, maybe, except he doesn't have a stick, and it's bad. And that was Kessler. So, go figure. So it's 3-1. And that's when the Ducks start to pick up some speed, and I'm starting to get a little concerned. Because, dear God, close out a period. Seriously, the second period, they get to the McFlurry minute, and you're like, guys, you know it doesn't count. We don't get a McFlurry. If the other team scores, could you please play 20 minutes of a whole period? That would be awesome. But thanks to Campbell being amazing, and just in general, like I said, everybody really seeming to step up. We close it out 3-1. And then we go into the third, and I'm just nervous the whole time because it seems like both teams are now battling for these 2 points in a way that hadn't really been so in the first 2 periods. It was a lot of Kings, and then the Ducks got a little bit of momentum, so I was just a little concerned that going into the third period, the momentum would kind of shift a little bit and keep going in their favor. You know, next goal was going to be very, very important. Either 3-2 or 4-1 really makes the game there. So after a couple of special teams and Jake Muzzin killing a guy almost, dude, hit of the game, guy went airborne. That was awesome. Jake Muzzin, I've also heard, might be part of the Pearson trade to get Nylander. Muzzin's actually, I would miss Muzzin. Muzzin does some stupid things sometimes. I really love-hate in my relationship with Muzzin here. But I'm concerned as to who would step up if we did lose Muzzin. That's a moot point for the time being. We're in the third period. 3 minutes left. We're almost there. We're getting there. 2 minutes left. They pull their goalie. And that's when Tyler and Carter are kind of jostling here for this empty net. And Tyler fully gets it. Thank God. 4-1. Like I said, next goal was going to be big. Because 3-2 with 2 minutes left in their goalie pull, that is enough time to make us head into overtime. But 4-1, that looks a lot better. So despite the fact that Kempe got I had been saying all game that this is one of the better games he's played all season, and he hadn't been in the box, and then he gets in the box with a minute 20 seconds left. Oh, so close, Kempe, so close. But the other guy, it really should have been coincidental minors. There was a roughing on him, and some interesting calls going on in the last couple. There was a tripping penalty where the guy was already falling before any King had even gotten near him. But whatever, the Kings managed to come through all of that and managed to pull off a 4-1 win. 4-1 makes it sound more convincing than I think perhaps it was. But I'd say 3-1. Take away the empty net. They actually earned 3 goals, and the other team only earned 1, and kind of barely even that. So like I said, lots of positives to take away from this. I'm not going to say our new coach is, going to solve all of our problems because we won 1 game against a team that isn't very good. But, if that's your first game behind the bench, that is a very solid game to have under your belts. The players seem to either be responding to, them knowing that they got Sutter fired or responding to Desjardins. Either way, I think that this season could potentially be looking up for the Kings. Yes, they are, I believe, still lost in the league. Let's not look at the standings because, hey guys, it's early November. Standings mean nothing. Wins do. And we have 2 in a row. Let's go get the next one.